Soft Metal back with another video. What's going on, guys? Today, I wanted to talk about a band. You know, if you've been watching my channel for 5 seconds, you know I'm a huge fan of these guys. And I figured, I think it's time. Let's give them their own video. Blasphemy, man. I wanted to make a video series, this series for a while. I'm going to call it like the essentials, all right? Blasphemy, the essential albums that I would say to anyone who wanted to get into this band. Start here. Don't really listen to anything else. And I'm going to try and break down what I think the best way to get into them would be. And yeah, man, again, this year was a big year for me in Blasphemy. I've always liked Blasphemy. Fallen Angel of Doom has been in my collection. It's for so long, man. It's one of like those ones that I've just always had and I've always liked, but I've never loved as much as I do. For some reason, man, this year it's just really been clicking along with the other material. And so I wanted to talk about some Blasphemy stuff quick. I'm going to go over the three LPs that I have by them. And then I'm going to give some recommended, if you like that, then check this out type stuff at the end. So I got two other albums that I pulled out that I think could use a little love, that if you're a fan of Blasphemy, I think you should check it out. Man, what's cool about Blasphemy, first of all, is one, that band, dude, there's something about them. They have an air, an atmosphere, an aura, image. Everything they did is so iconic, man. It's very hard to, I guess it's easy to underplay the importance of a band like Blasphemy nowadays, especially where it's one of those bands I feel like everyone knows the name of, everyone knows Fallen Angel of Doom, but I feel like it rarely enters the conversation a lot these days. And I don't know if that's just because, everything's oversaturated and whatnot, but man, if you're getting into Blasphemy, I hope you find this video well. We're just going to move our way right through the LPs here, starting with Blood Upon the Altar. Now, this came out in 1988, baby. That's one of the things that blows my mind about this band is this is a band that started in the 80s. You know what I mean? That to me is like pretty wild given the sound, the extremity, the originality. You know what I'm saying? Blasting. And this is, just an absolutely iconic album. It's actually a demo. It's only about 20 minutes long, but a lot of the best material is on here, and it sounds better, like production-wise, than it would in other, some of these songs than they would on other releases. Now, dude, again, the biggest takeaway with this album is the guitars, right? The guitars sound so much louder and more present here on Blood Upon the Altar than they do on either Fallen Angel of Doom or Gods of War that would come after. But yeah, dude, this is just an absolutely awesome release. If you can see, I actually have the poster of it hanging up, man. This is, dude, it's very fun. This is the thing with the Blasphemy catalog, if you will. Like, actually, there's Blood Upon the Sound Space as well, which I recommend checking out. I'm not putting it here in the essentials because I don't think it is. I think that's more of a for the super fans kind of album, which is like a rehearsal space kind of thing, and it's wicked raw, wicked gritty, and it also sounds great. And again, I think it comes out of the 80s as well. And dude, yeah, again, man, starting with Blood Upon the Altar, you got songs like Weltering in Blood, which has, some of the best riffs on it. Obviously, I don't even like saying, oh yeah, and Ritual's on here. It's like saying, I don't even know what's like Maiden's best, like Fear of the Dark or something, or the Trooper is on Peace of Mind or something. You know what I mean? It's like, but that Nocturnal Slayer, and then, Blasphemy and Blasphemous Attack, dude, all great tunes. And again, there's something about this, man, that sounds so much more raw and like, I don't want to say real because the other ones feel real as well, real AF, because we're talking Blasphemy here. It doesn't get more OG and real than that. But yeah, man, it's just absolutely killer. And what you will notice, man, as you bounce between these three albums I'm going to talk about is each one of them really has its own sound, vibe, atmosphere, attitude, and that's something that is really cool about the Blasphemy catalog, you know what I mean? And yeah, dude, if you're going to Blood Upon the Altar, dude, I think it might be a great place to start because, again, you get to hear everything, so clear and so, like, refined. And I don't know, it's funny because it's a demo, man. So to be saying that about this is kind of an interesting thing. But, yeah, I would say it's a good place to start. But Let's say you want more of that OG blasphemy sound. You want the real deal, the straight. What was it they did that was so iconic and monumental, and like, you know, kept them as big as they've always been. You know, we obviously have to talk Fallen Angel of Doom, man. I've had this album for years. You know what I'm saying? Like I've told this story before, but one of my favorite things about my copy of this is that, you know, my dog, R.I.P. Lola, you know, scratched the B side of this, and which you can't really hear it. I just see her like paw mark on it, and I'm like, every time I bust it out and I see that, I'm like, R.I.P. to my first pet, man. But regardless, my little aside. But yeah, dude, this is just like, this one has the magic, the satanic majesty to it. The atmosphere is way thicker, and the sounds in it. That's really where I think Fallen Angel of Doom, you know, kind of makes its mark. Whether a vocal will come in and, you'll hear like this echoey reverb thing over a vocal. It'll be like, yo, no, 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 or something, and it'll disappear into the production, or something will get really loud and explode, and then it'll go into like a atmospheric passage that sounds like keyboards and stuff like that. Now, again, just going through the tracks, I love the title track, Fallen Angel of Doom. And dude, you can't talk about this album without talking about the most iconic, maybe intro. Probably, if I had to, you know, gun to my head, choose a. Actually, you know what? You wouldn't even have to put a gun to my head. It's actually that good, where it's just like, it's kind of a no-brainer, dude. The intro to this album is one of the creepiest, eeriest, like, I don't know why, it almost like makes you feel like you're on some kind of satanic moon, you know, in space or something like that, and you're watching like fire like through the sky and stuff like that. Like I don't know how to describe it, or it's like what I would imagine walking through the Ross Bay Cemetery would be like, you know, if a portal opened up in the middle of it, you know. But you were staring at it like, oh shit, like, do we enter the portal? Like, yes, and enter the portal, become the Fallen Angel of Doom, man. This is, yeah, and again, you got, my favorite track on here has actually probably become Desecration, dude. That track, just the cadence of the flow and stuff, of the way the, Black Winds, like, spits it out, where he's like, no, Satan, like, dude, it gets stuck in your head so hard. It's such a catchy track. And then obviously you got Ritual on here, Weltering in Blood again. We got Demoniac and Goddess of Perversity, also killer tracks, man. And again, this is the album, dude. It feels like listening to a ritual, a like black magic ritual, dude. This is the kind of thing you want to light a candelabra up, fucking turn all the lights off, and dude, literally just play this in the dark. And again, that creepy intro is gonna lead you in, and then the sound, the production and design of this. Yeah, dude, a lot of stuff gets lost in here, and I think a lot of people don't like that about it, right? The riffs aren't here, well, they're certainly here, but like, they aren't as present. The guitars aren't as present, and I think like that turns a lot of people off, where you can't hear it. But to me, this is one of the few albums with atmosphere, you know, that I'm like, no, I feel like I get it. Like, you made the right call with the production on that, man. It makes a lot of sense to me. And yeah, dude. So I don't know. Just it's one of those albums, dude. And check out the back. It's one of those albums that has a magic. It has an aura. Something truly. There's something really special about it. You know, that I just don't think you could ever recreate. Maybe I should show you some of the stuff, you know, that's inside. But there's not really much. I've had this album for. I feel like it came with more, and I probably just lost shit because I've had this for a hot minute. But yeah, dude. If you want the aura Satan and something to kind of like meditate on and really sit there with the lights off to, I would say go with Fallen Angel of Doom. Now there's one more album I want to get to, and you know, shout out to the Friday the 13th live rituals and stuff like that. Like, those are cool too, but that's, again, when we're talking about what's the essentials, what do we need out of the Blasphemy catalog, I would not say you know, necessarily that you need those or Blood Upon the Sound Space. But however, if you dive deep into these bands, you'll realize, man, that is some good stuff. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to the Nuclear War Now guy, Yosuke or whatever, and tell you to go check out the interviews with Nocturnal Grave Desecrator and Black Winds. That is one of the craziest interviews, man. If you listen to that guy talk, I think usually when I discover a band, I feel like I don't want to know the personalities behind it. I don't like knowing too much about what's going on behind the scenes. I like the music to just kind of speak for itself. And after watching the Blasphemy interviews, it made me a little more interested. You got lots of great stories in there about I think it was one of their guitarists, don't quote me on this and kill me, but someone in the band was like stealing graves from the Ross Bay Cemetery. They were having nightmares and they ended up in like the loony bin. There was plans for Nocturnal Grave Desecrator and Black Winds to go meet up with Euronymous, and it fell through, but then he ended up like fighting some dude and threw him off like a 3-story building or something like that and almost killed him. And yeah, dude, there is some crazy stories. The craziest one though is probably that Nocturnal Grave Desecrator and Black Winds. He gets stabbed in the neck and he's bleeding out and he has to go to the hospital, and he has all this, shit happen to him, and he recovers and he gets out of the hospital, and holy fuck, dude, they replaced his blood with hepatitis C blood. You want to talk about a satanic curse, dude? Holy fuck, dude. Can you imagine how bad that sucks? And then he talks about like what life was like for him after that, and it's like, holy shit, man, this guy is a fucking trip. This guy has had quite a life story, and that adds, I think, to the Blasphemy lore. And dude, yeah, I also watched the interview with Caller of the Storms, and he's a cool dude too, but he's very, very much more cold and clinical about Blasphemy. The tales he tells, he's a little more subdued, and it just seems like he's maybe like an anchor in the band. You know what I mean? He seems more about the business, but also an interesting interview I recommend you go check out. Now let's talk about the last album here, Gods of War. Just got this. I saw that Vinyl Command had this in stock, so I was like, I gotta pick this up. And dude, if I was to recommend maybe a starting place that wasn't Blood Upon the Altar, I'd say this is the other probably best place to start. Well, Fallen Angel of Doom might be the biggest achievement that the band made. Let's see if I can get them both out here. I say this is, Fallen Angel of Doom is the biggest achievement the band had made. It's got the most atmosphere, the best, I think, sound and ambient passages and stuff like that. I would say Gods of War, man, is really their most badass. It's the one that kicks the most ass. It's the one that if I'm at the gym, I'm reaching for this, just, dude, take a song like Emperor of the Black Abyss, dude, those riffs just absolutely get stuck in your head. They rip, and they're just so good, man. And I love all the intros they put on here too, like just these little ambient passages before they play songs like Blasphemy, Necrosadist, or Atomic Nuclear Desolation, especially those like blasting short tracks. It's like Once Upon a Time, man, I might have seen that as like a kind of a cop-out or something like that. But again, kind of listening to those Black Winds interviews and stuff like that, like, it starts making sense a little more. The guy seems like he enjoyed partaking in various things and stuff back in the day. He seems like he gets fucked up. And the idea that you got this maniac who's just like, oh, crank out fucking 1 minute long song or something like, dude, it's actually sick. And they're pretty good if you listen to them, Blasphemous Attack and stuff like that, But this kicks off with Blood Upon the Altar, Gods of War, and then War Command is on here, and Empty Chalice. Just great classic material by the band, man. And again, maybe this would be your best bet if you were just getting into Blasphemy or you wanted to get into Blasphemy. I might tell you to start with Gods of War because it's so good, man. And again, we're getting some lineup changes, and now they play with on guitar, what's his name, Ryan Forrester from Conqueror and Death Worship, so it's kind of cool, man, when you know a little bit about the Ross Bay lore and some of the characters behind it. And his interviews were great. Go check out the Ryan Forrester stuff. You can learn a lot about the Conqueror shit. And it's all super good. But yeah, man, so in summary, with Blasphemy, with these releases, man, as far as the essentials go, I'd say if you're just getting into them and you want to check them out, go with Gods of War or Blood Upon the Altar. And once you're pretty chill with those, and you think you kind of get it, I'd say sit down and have the ritualistic listening, light the candles, turn the lights out, you know, and sit there with Fallen Angel of Doom, dude. It's just an experience, man, listening to that album, dude. And again, there's really not a dull moment. Even the blasts and everything like that. There's just this atmosphere that arises from that shit that's very unique in unto itself. And yeah, man, so I think that's it. I think I checked all the boxes as far as Blasphemy goes. So I wasn't going to talk about this band because I talked about them before, but I did want to say real quick that if you haven't, go check out Death Worship. Again, this features Blasphemy's current guitar player, Ryan Forrester. So tons of good tracks on here, very much in the similar vein. You know, I'd say check out Slaughter Siege, Holocaust Altar, Superion Rising. You know, all great tracks. And this is like a comp right here, Reaping Majesty. This is a comp of what came out on the first 2 EPs, just done with a different lineup. So if you're into Blasphemy, there's really no reason why you shouldn't be into this. But I would actually say I think I prefer the sound on the EPs. So go check those out. But I don't own those. It's funny. I remember when they first came out on vinyl, and I listened to it and went, "Oh, it's mad good. Maybe I'll buy that sometime." And now those EPs are nowhere to be found, and I am a sad sap, and I wish I had them. But yeah. Anyways, man, go check out Death Worship. Now, also, if you're if you like that ritualistic side of Blasphemy, where they're, you know, they almost feel like a black magic ritual, and you know, when you listen to them, you want that atmosphere of like darkness and whatever that is. I would say definitely check out Perverted Ceremony. I've talked about this band on the channel a couple of times, I think now, but Sabbath of Beheziel is awesome, and especially if you get this, dude, this CD. Again, I got this from Vinyl Command as well, I believe. This comes with the self-titled 12-inch EP as well, which has this cover, and I'm sure if you're a fan of the band at all, you've seen it. But also an awesome CD. Just a nice pressing here from Nuclear War Now. But yeah, man, this has that both combined in one. I actually used to own the LP of this way back in the day. For whatever reason, I got rid of it. I actually used to have the poster of this up in my house growing up as a kid. So I always just loved Perverted Ceremony, and this album's very sentimental kind of towards me. So if you've never checked out Sabbath of Beheziel, this is really good stuff, kind of in that vein of, you know, war metal. But it's not really, it's more of like the blasphemous side of the war metal, where it feels like some kind of satanic ritual to listen to. So go check this out. It's got what you're looking for. And lastly, here's a band I'm new to, so I can't speak too much on it. I bought this vinyl not that long ago, but it's very much in the camp. It fits the bill. I think it came out, released in 1995. And again, this has that mystic, that's what sophomore album of martial mysticism and Promethean glory. And that sums it up right there. And it says for fans of Bathory, Sodom, Voivod, and Bolt Thrower. But yeah, but like, to me, man, this is more of a band that's for fans of Blasphemy and you know, the war metal type stuff. I think this fits way more in that bill than it does Bolt Thrower or something, even though it has elements of that, and it's a little more riffier, and you know, the vocals attack more like maybe traditional metal rather than that real loose blasphemous, you know, kind of thing that Nocturnal Great. How many times am I going to have to say his name? Black Winds, that Black Winds does, you know. Anyways, check out Order from Chaos, man. This is Dawnbringer. I've been ripping this, man, and it's another one of those albums, dude, that I have found very little that comes close to hitting that blasphemy atmosphere. So, like, nail on the head, you know. This really, I think, takes the takes that formula. I don't know. I mean, Blasphemy came out before this, so I assume just by listening to it. Again, I know nothing about this band other than what I've spun, and yeah, I know that says a little bit on the inside, but regardless, man, yeah, dude, if you're a fan of Blasphemy, I don't see why you wouldn't be a fan of Order of Chaos, Dawnbringer, man. This is really good, you know, just riffy, kind of blasphemous. I don't know what the hell you'd call it, if it's like just blasphemous black metal with a death metal tinge. It's very much its own thing, and I think when you get kind of caught trying to figure out what to describe something as, your band's probably in a good spot, because it means you're at least a bit original, right? So yeah, man, I'm excited to spin that more. And as I was spinning it, I remember thinking, man, this fits in the camp really well, as far as, you know, what's similar and recommended material for Blasphemy fans. So yeah, man, that's it. I just wanted to talk a bit about Blasphemy, man, and because just like I said, this past year, I don't want to say I listen to them every day, but damn close, dude. I'm curious, man, especially, if you know what I do for work, I drive around a lot. So I have a feeling, I use Spotify is the point. I have a feeling they're going to be my number one most listened to band of the year. Just because, goddamn, dude, whether it's at the gym, at home on the turntable, or while I'm at work commuting and stuff, Blasphemy has just been a absolute staple. So yeah, man, this is the essential material. Go check this stuff out. And all those bands, one more shout out to Perverted Ceremony, go check them, Death Worship, and Order from Chaos. You just saw it. I'm not whipping it out again. Anyways, that's it. Yeah.